Alright, so today we're diving into one of the hottest budget smartphones on the market, the Infinix Hot 50. With a sleek design, good performance, and that tempting price point of around 240,000 naira or $145, it's clear that Infinix is making moves to dominate the budget space. But is it all just flashy features, or does it deliver where it counts? I've got all the details, and so without taking much of your time, yo guys, let's get started. Now, what do you get in the box? It's all pretty standard. You've got the smartphone itself, a 33-watt charger, a USB-C to Type-A cable, a basic silicone case, and a pre-applied screen protector, the flimsy type. Let's dive into the design, because honestly, it's pretty impressive. For a phone in this price range, it's one of the better looking options out there. It's light too, and it weighs about 188 grams, so it's super comfortable to hold in the hand. And with 4 colors to choose from, there's a look for everyone. Now, as far as the build, it's got a matte plastic back, at least for the one I have here, a plastic frame and a glass front. Sure, it's not premium metal, but it doesn't feel cheap in the hand. Plus, this device is rated IP54, so while it's not fully waterproof, it can handle a few splashes or some light rain just fine. One of the standout features here is the camera design. Infinix went for a look that's similar to Samsung's latest style, with a clean square wow cube as it's called setup on the back. It's got 3 cameras each in a square layout with an LED flash at the back of the smartphone. And that gives this premium minimalist vibe. Now, the matte finish on the back adds to the sleek look. It's bold, it's stylish, and honestly, I hope Infinix keeps this style for future models. Another nice touch here would be the power button, which doubles as a fingerprint scanner on this smartphone. It's quick, responsive, and it's actually right where your hand naturally lands. Super convenient. And because this smartphone is slim, it easily slips into the pocket, making it great for people who are always on the go. Overall, it's lightweight, feels good in the hand, and really nails the comfortable, stylish vibe. By the way, the Infinix Hot 50 has a dual SIM tray setup and a micro SD card dedicated slot to expand your storage. Now let's talk about the sound. We've got a pretty decent setup here, and there's a main bottom firing speaker, not exactly a room shaker, but it's loud enough for watching videos or taking calls on speaker. And for all the audio lovers out there, you'll be happy to hear this. The classic 3.5mm headphone jack is still here. It's always nice to see that on smartphones, especially since so many smartphones are ditching it these days. So here's a question for you all. As smartphone designs get slimmer and the headphone jack keeps disappearing, do you think it's time to let it go, or should we hold on to the classic feature that we have on this smartphone? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, the Infinix Hot 50 brings a big, bold 6.7-inch IPS LCD display. It's colorful and nice for the price, but is it the sharpest display out there? Not really. With a resolution of 720 by 1600, we're talking about HD plus resolution. So the pixel density here is around 262 ppi. It won't blow you away with ultra clear details, but for watching videos or scrolling through social media, it does the job just fine. The colors are solid, though you won't get that vibrant pop you'd see on AMOLED displays. And for the brightness, it maxes out at 480 nits, which is great indoors, but if you're outside on a sunny day, you might want to find some shades to see everything clearly. Now, here's the cool part about this display. It has 120Hz refresh rate, and that's a big win. Scrolling through apps and browsing feels super smooth, and even though the resolution isn't the highest here, the refresh rate gives you a real boost in feel and fluidity. Alright, let's get into what's under the hood. This smartphone runs on the new MediaTek Helio G100 chipset. It's pretty similar to the G99, but with a little extra power. You've got 2 options here, the 128 gigs of storage with either 4 gigs or 8 GB of RAM. If you can, go for the 8 GB version. Things just feel smoother there, but the 4 GB version still holds its own. With 8 GB of RAM and UFS 2.2 storage, it handles everyday tasks like messaging, social media, and light gaming pretty well. Just don't expect it to fly if you're piling on these apps. It's not built to run a marathon with heavy multitasking, but for regular day-to-day use, it's reliable. On the software side of things, it comes with Android 14 and Infinix's XOS 14.5 on top of that. There are some cool tweaks here like memory expansion that lets you virtually take the RAM up to 16 GB. Now, fair warning here is that there are a few pre-installed applications that can be a bit spammy with notifications, but you can uninstall most of them if they are not your thing. Oh, and if you're enjoying this review, do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel if you're new here. It helps the channel grow, and I've got a lot more smartphone content coming your way. Thank you. For anyone wondering about gaming, the Hot 50 does a pretty decent job, and the Mali G57 GPU coupled with the 120Hz refresh rate gives a respectable gaming experience, especially for the light and mid-tier games. Titles like Asphalt run comfortably with the smartphone, though you might need to dial down the settings for more intensive games like Genshin Impact or maybe Call of Duty Mobile. Of course, the relatively modest GPU means that this smartphone isn't for dedicated gamers, but casual players will find the smartphone fun. One more thing to note is that Infinix added some cooling mechanisms here, which is nice to hear, and this device didn't overheat in my gameplay sessions, though it might get slightly warm after extended gaming sessions. And for those who love to see the numbers, here are the Antutu, Geekbench and 3D Max scores for the Infinix Hot 50. Now let's get into the cameras. On the back you get this triple camera setup, a 50 megapixel main sensor, a 2 megapixel depth sensor and this AI camera too. In good lighting, the shots are pretty good, bright and with enough detail to look great on social media. And when it comes to low light shots, things get a little tricky. It does have a night mode that helps, but don't expect magic here. Up front, there's an 8 megapixel selfie camera with an LED flash. In good lighting, it's decent, perfectly fine for video calls and casual selfies, but in low light, it gets a little grainy, but it's still usable. The Hot 50 also comes with some extra camera features like this AI beauty mode, which smoothens out selfies, and panorama mode for these wide shots. Overall, it's a solid performer for everyday photography. Now on the video side of things, the Hot 50 records up to 2K at 30 FPS, and the video quality is nice in good lighting, though it's just okay in low light conditions. There's also a bit of electronic image stabilization EIS in 1080p, which helps reduce some of the shake, but it's not as strong as the optical image stabilization features on other high-end devices. And this smartphone doesn't have the toggle to turn off or on this feature. Now for the front-facing camera, you can also record in 2K at 30 FPS, which works well enough for video calls and casual vlogging. That said, low light performance and stabilization could use a bit more polish with this smartphone. If you're on the market for the Infinix Hot 50 right now, you should expect to get it for a starting price of 240,000 Naira or $145, which is about the same as the similar Tecno Spark 30 Pro. Okay, let's not forget the power source. The 5000 mAh battery here is solid for a day's use, even with heavy browsing, streaming and gaming. Using the included 33-watt fast charger, you can charge the smartphone in about 2 hours. It's solid on this front and there's nothing to complain about the battery life on the Infinix Hot 50. Overall, the Infinix Hot 50 has a lot going on for a budget smartphone and can compete with devices in this category, especially for around $145. Even though it strikes a balance for its category, you should be aware that following the track record for Infinix, there's a low chance of getting an OS update on this device, and that's one of the downsides. But as far as the basic tasks, light gaming and social media, and the price generally, the Infinix Hot 50 is absolutely worth considering. So you can check out this video on a similarly priced device here. I'm gonna catch you in that video. Koidate.